Okay, this lesson is all about tile patterns and pattern recognition. The biggest thing about linear functions is understanding that they have a certain pattern that does not match their counterparts. For a linear function, they all increase on a consistent rate, so which means you're adding and subtracting the same number every single time. With tile patterns, it helps us see that more in a visual sense. All of us in here can agree that we prefer when Miss Lipsey does more visual lessons rather than abstract ones. Y'all like to see the physical math happening in front of you, where you can count it, touch it, be able to observe it. It's when I start throwing things like equations like this out there that people go, Miss Lipsey, I don't like that. And it's okay if you don't, but it's about getting you uncomfortable, okay? So, slope-intercept form is the most important form in which we write linear equations. That's a key thing to know. It's also one of your vocabulary words. So, it's written as y equals mx plus b. There's all certain points. Everybody good? Focusing up here, focusing up here. We're going to first look at x. X is important on its own because it is the piece that makes everything become what it is. It's called the input, the domain, or the independent variable. For every x, there should be a y. Yes, you may. What do you think the names for y is? Output, range, and the dependent variable, right? Great job. But now we're adding in two pieces that y'all have seen before, but really haven't been emphasized. And that's M, which is what? Do you remember what M is? Starts with an S. Slope. You know another way to say slope? 3 words. First word starts with an R. Rate of change. And written as a fraction, how would you write it? Blank over blank. Both start with R's. Blank over blank. Anybody want to try? Both words start with R.
Wait, what?
I said another way to write slope as a fraction. There are 2 words. Both of them start with R. So it's blank over blank. Rise over run. There you go. And then finally, we have B. B is the, do you know? B is the, if that's the slope, what should B be? Which intercept? The y-intercept. Great job. Which is also called the initial value, written as 0b. Any questions on any of these pieces? So we have 4 extremely important pieces of this equation. We have a y, an m, an x, and a b. But we, sir?
So B ought to be the last letter?
Not necessarily. Context is everything in the question that you ask, the way you ask that question, not necessarily. Adding and multiplying are commutative properties, which means I can switch it and make it y equals b plus mx, and it would still be the same thing, just in a different order. This is just the order that's preferred because it's a slope and the intercept. So slope, intercept, form. Make sense? Your question's not a bad question. Don't get me wrong on that one. It's a good question what you're asking. But know that addition is commutative. So if they switch it around, it's still a linear function. Everybody good? How do we keep these words for x and y straight? Now, I typically don't do it this way, but I'm going to give it to you because those who might see it this way might help a little bit better. D is for dependent. Meaning the R is range. O is output. And Y is just Y. D as in N words, like the actual N, meaning independent. Or input. D for domain. This is if you want to use these, okay? You don't have to. Most people just prefer to label it how I label it at the top, and they seem to get it better that way when you're seeing each piece individually. I myself, this gets cluttered for me. Some acronyms are perfect, but some acronyms can be a little bit much. See, this looks like a lot compared to what I just showed you right there. In the sense of, you know these vocabulary words because you've seen these before in the previous unit. So this is a little bit more applicable to you than, say, this piece down here. But if you like this more, do it this way. Miss Lipsey's not going to tell you what's right and what's wrong. It all is the same thing. Any questions there? Everybody good? Oh, you're good. Keep writing. Everybody good? Okay, flip it on over. So this is going to go into how we understand tile patterns. Example 1 says draw figures 0 and 4 for the tile pattern below. Shade in any tiles. So if you notice between figure 1 and figure 2, my biggest rule here is to count and write how many tiles you have. How many tiles are in figure 1? 4. How many tiles are in figure 2? 6. How many are in figure 8?
8.
Figure 3, sorry. How do we see the growth happening? Is it increasing or decreasing? Increasing by how much? 2 each time. And that's what I mean by it's constant. So if I know it's increasing by 2 between these two and these two, how would I find my next one? Plus 2, because it would become 10. But notice also where I'm adding those. Do you see these ones with dots on them? If I were to shade those, do we see how shading those two creates figure number 1?
Yes.
Do you see how I shade these two? I create figure number 2. So if I were to shade this piece right here, sorry, I have 2 things at once in my hand. I just created what?
1 is 2.
Which is?
2.
And figure what?
0.
There you go. Because aren't there just 2 blocks right there?
Yeah. So this is true.
And that's figure 0. Everybody still with me? Everybody good? Did I lose anybody?
Yeah.
How did I lose you?
No, I'm back. After we see how you did that.
This is me working backwards to get figure 0. This is me working forward to get the figures going onward, okay? So you just told me there should be 10 here. So how many blocks should be across the top on figure 4?
Six? No.
What'd you say?
6?
6, because am I adding 1 to the top?
Yeah.
Yes. So draw 6 tiles for the top. How many should be on the bottom?
4.
Absolutely. Now when I count this, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10. Did I get the exact amount I just had?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions?
No.
Do you see the pattern forming?
Yes, ma'am.
Absolutely. From this, I have an X and I have a Y. What is my X? What does it say? Right here. Figure number. Can we come check phones real quick, please, and thank you, to make sure that our ringers are off before it goes off again during the lesson. I'll pause. Thank y'all for coming and checking.
Now you got to He can tell us. He can tell me that. I know what I understand.
Thank you, gentlemen. Did one of y'all figure out it was one of y'all?
Nah, it wasn't me.
Was it you, True? It's okay. So, looking up here, what do they tell me X was? We're just reading. Right here. Figure number, which means X is this value right here. So, how many figures do I have?
2. No, 0. 4. 6. 5.
5 of them all together. So, I have 0, 1, 2, 3, and 4. What does Y represent?
The numbers of the box, right?
The number of tiles. We can read, correct?
Yeah.
So we're just reading to see what it says. We're not guessing on the words.
Okay.
How many tiles are in figure 0?
2.
And 1.
4.
And 3. And 2, sorry.
6.
And 3.
8.
And in 4.
10.
What is the initial value of this pattern? 2. Because that's our y-intercept, correct? So it's 2. Initial value, if you recall, is found at 0. That's key information, written as 0B. How much is the pattern increasing by? By 2 again. Because that's the growth rate happening right there in between them. Write an equation in slope-intercept form that relates the figure number X to the number of tiles Y. So what should come first if I'm writing an equation? Y. Then, equation equals So flip that page over for me. What is slope-intercept form? What comes next? You just said it? M. What is your M in this case? 2. Because what is it increasing by? Then what comes next? X. Then what comes next? Plus what? 2. Because isn't 2 our initial value? That's where it came from. Any questions? When you see increasing or decreasing, that is M. Any questions there? Use your equation to find the number of tiles for figure 25. Find the number of tiles for figure 25. So, what value did they give me when they say figure 25? Yeah, what did they tell me is what is being put in the place of 25 and vice versa? Mm-mm. What two things do you have in your table? What was it? X and Y. What does X represent? Because we're learning how to do what? Read. So why are you looking at me when the paper's in front of you?
I don't know.
Oh, what a concept. How are you reading a paper when you're looking me in the face? You ain't. So, what is X one more time?
Figure.
Figure what?
Number.
Thank you. And what is Y?
Number of tiles.
What do they want me to find?
The figure of 25.
No, we're learning how to what?
Read.
So read what I have highlighted. It wants me to find what?
Find the number of tiles.
Which is what variable?
No,
No,
why?
Thank you. So it wants me to find what?
Number of tiles.
Which is what?
Why?
So what did they give me?
25.
Read it. They gave me,
Figure 25.
which is what?
Why?
X.
How do I know it's X?
Because it says in the top.
It says it where?
At the top. Oh. X. Yeah, read.
If he's saying it, it means a lot.
You got one question.
Thank you, guys.
So what did they give me?
Figure 25.
Which is what?
X.
Thank you. X equals what?
25.
Man, this looks a whole lot like what we were doing in Unit 3. What did I just say? If you don't know how to do something, it's most likely going to be highlighted in the next unit. I wasn't playing. So what am I looking for? Which is what? Which is what? Y. They gave you. So you're looking for?
Wow.
Thank you. So how do I use my equation in this piece to find Y? How do I rewrite it?
Y.
What? One more time? I just didn't hear you.
Is it Y equal 2X?
Are you asking me or telling me?
Tell me.
Then don't ask me, is it? Say it with your chest. Let's go.
Is it Y equal?
You know what you just said. Are you asking me or are you telling me?
Oh, Y equals 2X plus 2.
Oh. I love the confidence. But are we missing something? Re-say that again.
Oh, parentheses 25.
Where? So start from the beginning.
X.
Start from the beginning.
Y equals 2 parentheses 25 close parentheses equals 2.
Absolutely. Because didn't they just tell me that X is that piece right there?
Yes.
Ian, make sure you wake up, baby. Stand up if you have to. Get up and move around. Come on. So, am I simplifying or solving here?
So, simplify.
Simplifying, because am I moving any variables? No, so I'm not solving anything. I'm just simplifying. So what needs to be done first? Baby, that means grab your paper and a clipboard. That way you can follow along and write what we're writing, okay? What was it? I'm sorry?
2 times 25.
What's 2 times 25?
50.
So I have Y equals,
50 plus 2.
what's 50 plus 2?
52.
So how would I write my final answer?
Y equals.
No, you're close. Do units matter? What were you told to find? What was that, Kylan?
52 tiles.
Because what were you told to find?
Number of tiles.
Application. Didn't we do that in Unit 3 as well? What a concept. It's coming all together. Any questions?
No, no.
Now you know what to do for us to figure out this next one. Look at example number 2. Draw figures 0 and 4 for the pattern below. Shade in any added tiles. So, let me go back up here and shade these in, because I forgot to do that up here. We added those 2 tiles, so I have to shade those in. So, let's look at our example. What do I need to do first before I do anything else? Count how many each one of them has. You just said it. How much does figure 1 have?
5,
How much does figure 2 have?
8,
Figure 3?
11.
What's happening between figure 1 and figure 2?
Plus 3.
Between figure 2 and figure 3?
Plus 3.
So what needs to happen between figure 3 and figure 4?
Plus 3 again.
Which makes what?
14.
14.
What needs to happen between figure 1 and figure 0?
Minus 3.
Minus 3. So it's what?
2.
My question here is, what's being added to make figure 1 turn into figure 2? How is this becoming this?
They add another number.
Where are the tiles being added?
On the right side.
On the right side. How many of them?
30.
3. So it's that, that, and that. And shouldn't that pattern continue?
Yes, ma'am.
So I should take how many from the right side on figure 1?
1. No, 3.
3 again. Thank you. So what's left is how many?
2.
And shouldn't we have had 2?
Yes, ma'am.
Any questions there?
Alright, well, no, ma'am.
So you need to draw out figure 3 over here and then do what to it?
Add something to the right.
Add how much to the right?
30.
Thank you. So I have the 2 that I started with over here, then 1 at the bottom, 2 that I started off with here, 1 at the bottom, 2 that I started off with there, 1 at the bottom, 2 that I started off here, 1 at the bottom, and 2 more right there. Good morning, Miss Davis. I was in the throes of this lesson, girl. She was focused. And you should be able to count and double check to make sure that your math is correct. So 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. So we were right on the money. Any questions? Is this making sense?
Yes.
Is it easier to see it as a tile pattern?
Yes. Yes.
I figured it would be. What did I say? We are visual creatures in here. Y'all don't like when I get abstract. Y'all don't like when I ask them deeper questions without pictures. I found that out the hard way in the past 3 units. Because y'all did the best on unit 3. Why? Because it was a lot of visual stuff. It didn't focus heavily on calculator. It didn't focus heavily on algebra. It focused very heavily on can you see it and can you understand it. So that's what's great here. So what does X represent? Figure numbers. So what should go in the first one?
0,
Then,
1,
then,
2,
then,
3,
then.
4.
How many are in, what represents Y?
Tile.
So what goes with 0?
2,
1,
5,
2,
8,
3,
11,
4.
14.
What is the initial value for the pattern?
Plus 3.
No, initial value is the what? The y-intercept. How much is the pattern increasing by?
It's 3.
How do I write an equation in slope-intercept form that relates the figure number x to the number of tiles y?
Y equals
What comes after the equal sign directly? What variable?
8. I'm not.
Flip your paper over. Don't try to read my face. Read the paper. You don't want to read my face. You don't want that. I love y'all, but my face is lethal when it comes to some of the things that y'all be saying. I'm glad y'all don't look up. Y equals what?
2x.
No, absolutely not. Flip that paper over.
I really know
Flip it over. What comes directly after y equals? M. Is that what I heard?
Yeah, MH plus.
Well, so what does M represent?
Slope.
Slope or the?
Rate of change.
What does 2 represent here? No, what does 2 represent here?
Initial value.
What variable does initial value go with? No. Can you read? I can tell. It's what, Brandon?
B.
So is B at the beginning or at the end? So what should come first?
Slope.
M, the slope, which is, this is how I know y'all didn't write what I wrote at the top of the paper. Because look at what I wrote. What's highlighted in blue?
M.
And it's over what word?
Increase.
Did you write that?
Yeah.
So are you not reading?
No.
Oh, so we're getting exposed. That's what's happening. Okay. Can't read and don't want to read. So it's just a trifecta of problems.
It's crazy how I'm not reading.
It's crazy how you don't know how to in 9th grade, right?
I don't want to say
It's crazy how this is on recording. Is people are going to be like, they didn't even look up. Right, they didn't. Anybody listening to this, believe it or not, there's people who watch these that are not even in my class because they're just on YouTube. Oh, I get compliments. I get compliments. So I'm doing my job. Looking up here. Which one of these 2 numbers are M?
3.
Because what word tells me that?
Increase.
Increasing. I told you if it says increasing or decreasing, you need to put what variable?
M.
We need to keep doing that and we need to keep highlighting it until we get it. Any questions there? So what comes after the equal sign?
3.
Then?
Plus 2.
And before anybody tries to make that crazy argument, we use 2 up top. Doesn't it say 2 right there as well? That's what threw y'all off. Y'all trying to copy what's happening up top and you're not reading. Stop trying to memorize the work and understand the work. That's what makes a DOK 1 student different from a DOK 4. DOK means depth of knowledge. You don't want to be a surface level student. You want to be an in-depth student. Any questions? Use your equation to find out which figure will have 65 tiles. So what information did they give me?
Figure will have tile.
So what information did they give me?
Give us
X.
This is 65.
I heard 65 tiles. We should look back at that table to know if we're telling the truth or not.
Y.
They gave you what?
Y.
So how do I rewrite that?
Y equals. Y'all got the rest.
Y equals, just read,
3.
65.
X. No.
Because that's the information they gave you. What are you asked to find? Which figure, which is what variable?
X.
Thank you. X. M is what in? Flip the paper over. What's M?
M is
I asked Ian, not you.
my bad.
You're okay. We're not looking for that, are we? Because didn't we just find those 2 pieces? We need to know what variables we are focused on. Zai, stop staring at him. That ain't your business. Stop making people uncomfy. You know better than that. A conversation between me and Ian. Notice he's in the back of the room, so you ain't even got to look back to see him. It is our business. Okay? Especially when you wasn't reading your daggum self.
I got it right.
After how many proms? Boy, rewind the footage. I need someone to do a count how many times I said go back and read, go back and read, go back and read.
That one said it was me.
And hush. How do I use my equation to do this?
It's all good.
I bet it is. How do I use my information in my equation to solve this? And because you can't read.
Let me know. I got it's Y equals 3
Nope. Notice how I keep saying no. You're a bold-faced lie. That's wrong. Hey, Queen. No, you're fine. Thank you, girl. I tried. She's not here. Oh, she is here. That's right.
Thank you.
No problem.
It gave us X instead of Y. This one it gave us Y.
Perfect. I'll come in and talk to you during third block about what was going on. So, how do I use my equation and the information they gave me to answer this? How do I write it? What comes first? Thank you. Brandon, say it with your chest. What? Then?
Oh, yeah. 3x plus 2. Oh, my God.
Are you simplifying or solving? What am I doing? Not quite. Does this look like
Because
this?
he gave us, the last one he gave us X, this time he gave us Y.
Thank you. So I'm solving the exact opposite. So what am I doing here?
Solve.
Solving. So how do I solve it?
-2 on both sides.
Because it looks like a two-step equation to me.
Yeah, this is my strong.
So what's coming down?
3X equals.
Uh-huh. Then, what's being typed in?
65 minus.
Type that in, please. Don't say it out loud. Give your people time. You already know we struggle.
65 minus.
Yep. Don't say it out loud. Give your people time.
Hey, dude, calm down, son. He just said, don't say it out loud.
You see how I didn't even have to say anything? They handled it. Be a courteous person. You know you're better than that.
I wish I had to write it out.
But that's the thing. They're still typing it in to verify your answer. But if you're just blurting things out, that does not give them motivation. Be mindful. What'd y'all get?
I got 63.
Did y'all all get 63?
Yes.
Then what do I do?
Divide by 3 on both sides.
So what's being typed in?
63 divided by 3.
Let them type it in while you type it in, and I will ask for the answer.
I'm stressed.
Uh-huh. Do you have it typed in?
Yeah, I already had it.
What'd y'all get?
21.
So altogether it is?
21
Uh-huh.
or X equals 21.
But how would I answer this with what they asked me to find?
21 times.
Nope. Figure 21. Stop saying, why is it? Why is it? What did they say in the question? What does it say? What?
Which is figure.
So what should be in your final answer? It said for this top one, find what?
Number of tiles.
So what should be in your final answer?
Tiles.
Not necessarily the same number, Jordan. Just the actual unit.
I don't know why I said that.
It's okay. You're just memorizing it. That's okay. So, any questions?
No.
Everybody got it?
Yes.
Make sense? I want you to do number 1 for me, okay? Daily grade. You already knew what was coming. Do number 1 for me. I'm going to project mine back on the board. Make sure you do all the pieces, all the parts. Starts with a C. Count, because that's what some people did not do. So, how many are in figure 1?
0. 1.
And figure 1?
5.
5.
Figure 1.
How many are in figure 2?
9.
Figure 3?
11.
Nope.
13. 13.
It means we can't count. How does 5 become 9?
Plus 4.
How does 9 become 13?
Plus 4.
So how do I get from figure 3 to figure 4?
Plus 4 is 17.
So it should be what?
17.
How do I get from figure 1 to figure 0?
Minus 4. Minus 4.
What's 5 minus 4?
1.
Why did people put 2 there?
I should put 2. Oh God, I put 2.
So my question here is, how did this picture turn into this picture? It was plus 4. What was added from here to here?
How do you put 2?
They added 4, but where? On the,
End.
not the ends,
Like the
the corners. Because if I take those away, what was left? The inner part. So what do I need to take away from this one? The ends, the outer 4. So how many should be in figure 0? So it should be 1 tile. So since I said I was just adding these on the ends, which 4 do I need to mark on figure 3? The outer corners. Because it says shade any added tiles. I know some people saw me circle that.
You get it marked wrong for like drawing wrong?
Yep, because isn't it drawing it part of the actual answer? So,
Everyone please rise for the pledge.
how many am I adding on the outside of this one?
Pledge. I pledge allegiance to the flag of the
Just
United States of America. And to
how
the
many?
republic for which it stands.
1. How many am I adding to the outside of this one?
With liberty.
Outside of that one? Outside of that one. So I should have 2 on the outside here. Instead of 4, I should have 5 stacking here.
Don't forget, the yearbook is on sale. Balfour.com, BALFOUR.com.
I should have 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 there.
The price is $70 right now. It will increase at the end of the semester. Also, seniors, if you're interested in attending Jackson State University next year, the entire month of November is a free application month. So save yourself some money and apply in November. Chess Club. The Chess Club will meet Thursday.
That's what we're supposed to have.
From 7 to 7:30. Due to school being closed tomorrow. That is right, students. There is
I added one extra one that I didn't need. That's it.
Why they making it,
Nothing like that.
All right, guys, focus.
It was a big weekend in Jackson this weekend, students. I guess you could say another weekend, another state championship. This past Saturday, the boys and girls cross country team competed in the MHSAA 6A cross country state championships. The girls team finished 8th overall in the state with an all-state performance from Macon Johnson. She finished 10th overall with a time of 22 minutes 49 seconds.
I heard
And the boys team finished 4th in the state with all-state performances from Sean Cummings, 11th overall with a time of 18 minutes 4 seconds. And Preston Mundy won the MHSAA 6A individual state championship with a time of 16 minutes and 32 seconds. Great job, runners.
What you go in X's?
Students, this week, believe it or not, is the halfway point of T2.
What goes with 0?
Halfway point of T2.
With 1?
Progress will be this week. Make sure your grades are where you want them.
What's the initial value?
As
Nope.
always, OB.
1. How much is the pattern increasing by?
4.
What's the equation?
Y equals 4x plus 1.
That's not.
Do you use your equation to find the number of tiles for figure 91? What information did they give you?
X equals 91.
X equals 91. So how would I rewrite my equation for that?
Y equals 4 parentheses 9 1 plus 1.
What's 4 times 91? 364 plus 1 equals what?
Equals 65.
So how do I write my final answer?
It's going to be 65.
I got it, bro. I got it right basically. I basically
Any questions? Basically ain't it. You got to know what's going on.